You are continuously burning your vital physical energy on an exhausting daily treadmill of relentless hustle, trying to forcefully drag your life into a better future through pure muscle and strategic manipulation. But let us expose the exhausting truth that mainstream self-help completely hides from you. The version of you who already commands immense wealth, experiences radiant biological health, walks in absolute emotional freedom, and stands enveloped in profound love is not an elusive target you have to frantically chase, trap, and secure in the physical world. It is a highly specific, coexisting electromagnetic frequency that already vibrates in the quantum field, waiting for your biology to consciously tune in to its broadcast. Look closely at the devastating illusion of your morning routine. You wake up, immediately scrolling through your phone or staring at a beautifully curated vision board, but the very microsecond your feet touch the cold floor, your body triggers an automatic chemical flood of chronic stress, financial anxiety, and deep-seated frustration. Before you have even formed your first conscious thought of the day, your physical body has already remembered yesterday's limitations, hardwiring your brain to experience the exact same reality on a continuous mechanical loop. The intelligent quantum field is completely blind to your desperate intellectual wishes, your beautifully written affirmations, and your mechanical visualization rituals. It responds with absolute mathematical precision only to your deep subconscious state of being, the precise chemical alignment between what you think and what you feel.
By the time the human biological vehicle reaches the age of 35, a staggering 95% of your identity has transformed into a completely memorized subconscious operating system composed of automatic emotional reactions, hardwired belief systems, and predictable behavioral patterns. This rigid, energetic cage is what Dr. Joe Dispenza defines as your primary personality, and it is this exact personality that creates your personal reality day after day. The tragic paradox of the modern manifestation movement is that thousands of well-intentioned seekers are actively attempting to manifest a spectacular, liberated future while completely saturated in the chemical signature of their past conditioning. They intellectually demand exceptional abundance while their physical nervous system is deeply vibrating in the heavy state of financial lack. They desperately visualize absolute freedom while their muscles and cells remain physically anchored in the paralyzing frequency of being profoundly stuck. The universe is not a punitive judge deciding whether or not to grant your specific wishes. It operates as an indifferent mechanical mirror that returns exactly what you were broadcasting on autopilot. If you wake up every single morning thinking the exact same historical thoughts and feeling the exact same familiar limitations, you are executing a definitive quantum vote to collapse the exact same timeline of limitation right back into your physical experience.
To break free from this relentless subatomic trap, you must understand that over years of repetitive conditioning, your physical body has effectively usurped the throne, transforming into the unconscious mind. When you experience a specific emotional trauma or a prolonged period of intense financial scarcity, your brain releases a corresponding flood of chemical peptides that flood your cellular structure. Over time, your cells become deeply addicted to these specific emotional receptors, demanding their daily dose of stress, worry, or unworthiness just to feel biologically alive. This is why true behavioral change feels incredibly difficult. It is not because you lack willpower or are fundamentally broken, but because your physical body is actively fighting to maintain its familiar chemical home. The very moment you step out of your comfort zone to visualize a higher timeline, your body senses the unfamiliar energetic shift and immediately sounds an alarm, sending frantic signals back up to the brain to trigger thoughts of doubt, fear, and imminent failure. If you give in to these thoughts, you immediately step right back into the old loop, reactivating the neural networks of the past and anchoring your energy in an expired identity that no longer serves your evolution.
The true turning point of quantum mastery begins when you completely cease trying to force your external environment to change through physical struggle, and instead dedicate your focus to mastering the art of mental rehearsal. Advanced neuroscience reveals that the human brain cannot distinguish between an event that is actually occurring in physical reality and an event that you are vividly experiencing internally through intense emotional focus. When you sit in perfect stillness, close your eyes, regulate your breathing, and deliberately access the precise feeling of how the financially liberated or deeply loved version of yourself would feel right now in the present moment, you are executing a radical biological intervention. You are literally firing and wiring new neural pathways in your brain, installing the neurological hardware of your future self before any external evidence has materialized. By teaching your body emotionally what your mind has intellectually visualized, you are transforming your physical vehicle from a walking record of the past into a living map of the future, broadcasting a completely fresh, highly coherent electromagnetic signal directly into the subatomic matrix.
Rapid manifestation is never a product of chaotic, frantic effort. It is exclusively achieved when your body enters a profound state of heart-brain coherence. In your ordinary, stress-driven daily routine, your brain waves are highly fractured and scattered, operating in a high beta state that sends conflicted, contradictory signals into the quantum field. It is the energetic equivalent of screaming static into a radio tower. The universe cannot read your signal because it is deeply divided against itself. However, when you deliberately calm your nervous system and access elevated emotional states such as pure gratitude, joy, and unconditional love before your circumstances alter, a profound synchronization occurs. Your heart begins to beat in a highly rhythmic, harmonious pattern, generating a powerful magnetic field that pulls your brainwaves into a beautifully unified, slow alpha or theta rhythm. This clear, uninhibited frequency projects an unshakable command line out into the quantum field. In this coherent state, you stop functioning as a separate, desperate ego chasing an external object, and instead transform into an incredibly powerful subatomic magnet that effortlessly collapses the infinite probability waves of the field into a singular, real-life outcome that perfectly matches your internal resonance.
The most critical threshold on the quantum path is the inevitable encounter with what Dr. Joe Dispenza identifies as the identity gap. The volatile, uncomfortable space between who you intend to be in your visions and who your biological body remembers it is. It is entirely natural to experience moments where your vibration suddenly drops, where you step out of a profound meditation filled with tears of deep gratitude, only to be instantly triggered the next morning by an unexpected bill, a frustrating conversation, or a sudden wave of old anxiety. Most seekers interpret this sudden dip as absolute proof that they have failed, immediately shaming themselves and abandoning their practice entirely. But in the true mechanics of the field, this precise moment of falling back is not a failure. It is the ultimate fork in your timeline. This is the exact subatomic test where you are handed the conscious choice to either react from the wounded neural pathways of the old identity or consciously respond from the elevated frequency of your future self. Every single time you catch yourself slipping into an old emotional loop, refuse to indulge in self-shame. Pause your movements, slow your breath, and deliberately realign your attention with the feeling of your future. You weaken the chemical hold of the past and permanently lock in a new timeline of potential. As you allow these profound scientific truths to settle deep into your awareness, the desperate desire to frantically chase external results completely dissolves, replaced by an unshakable state of absolute emotional independence. When you hold the frequency of your fulfillment so deeply that you no longer require your bank account balance, your relationship status, or your external environment to dictate how you feel inside, you have officially reclaimed your sovereign creator power. You are no longer living as a passive victim of luck, fate, or linear time. You have become the direct cause of your personal reality. The gap between you and your highest desires completely vanishes because on an energetic level, there is no separation. You begin to walk through the world noticing a rapid acceleration of brilliant synchronicities. Unexpected opportunities materialize out of thin air. Perfectly timed messages appear on your path, and solutions reveal themselves before you even have a chance to stress over the problem. These are not random accidents or strokes of lucky timing. They are the literal physical reflections of your unified electromagnetic signature. You didn't force these events to happen through exhausting physical toil. You simply became the version of you for whom these events are a completely natural, inevitable reality.
In this definitive breakdown of the quantum matrix, we have learned that accelerating your desires is never achieved by doing more tasks with an old mindset, but by completely overriding the unconscious biological programming that anchors your cells to a historical past. We have realized that your body acts as the unconscious mind, and that real transformation requires you to bridge the identity gap by consistently embodying the elevated emotions of your future self, long before any physical proof appears. If you are truly ready to shatter your biological addiction to stress and lack, declare your sovereignty to the universe, and officially activate your new energetic blueprint, type the phrase, "I am energy," in the comments below to lock your broadcast into the field. By dedicating just 5 minutes every day to cultivating deep heart-brain coherence, by calming your nervous system and flooding your body with the profound chemical signature of gratitude, you will alter the trajectory of your physical life. The old emotional triggers that once derailed your day will lose their chemical grip. Chronic stress will transform into unshakable inner peace, and the external world will rapidly reorganize its resources, events, and people to meet the elevated frequency you are broadcasting. Stop waiting for your life to change before you feel amazing. Become the future right now, and let the quantum field collapse into your truth.